Hello there, welcome to another episode of War of the Tanks with Ngani Titan. And I want to take a first look at the Progetto, the Ariete Progetto? I'm not sure whether it's a hard G or a soft G. I go Progetto. Was it M35 Mod 46? The Italian Tier 8 premium tank, and it is actually, I love it. I think it's really a load of fun. Doesn't have much in the line of armour. I think it's 60mm of frontal armour, and the sides are even weaker. The turret is slightly better, it's 80mm, but still that's pretty poor. Now it is well sloped, well rounded armour. You will bounce the odd shot from it, but I wouldn't rely on it. Gun is decent though. The gun is actually quite good in terms of penetration, and well, it's average on damage. It's 240 damage, so it's nothing spectacular. Rate of fire is kind of iffy on this one. You have this peculiar auto-reloading mechanic. So what does this mean? Well, it means that if you have 3 rounds in a clip. The first round, if you have an empty clip, the first round will take, I don't know, nearly 12 seconds to load. The second round will take, I think, slightly over 10 seconds. And the third round takes around 9 seconds. Or over 9 seconds. And that's as it stands. I don't know the exact times because I haven't examined it that closely, or I haven't cut it, exactly to tell exactly how many seconds. You can equip a rammer, you can equip vents, binoculars, all the usual stuff, vertical stabilizers, so it's pretty decent that way. The thing is, if you want to get the maximum kind of DPM out of this tank, you need to have the discipline to not fire more than one shot. Wait for that last round to reload, and then fire again rather than empty the clip. Because you empty the clip, okay, you can get a fairly decent burst damage from emptying the clip, but then you'll have quite a long reload while you're waiting for all 3 rounds to reload again. Particularly if you're going to be firing the last round each time, because then you'll have the longest possible reload. You'll be on kind of heavy tank reload times. As far as I can tell, if you switch ammo types, you're in a complete reload cycle. It completely dumps the clip and reloads the entire clip from start. So you can't have mixed ammunition types, which doesn't. I'm not sure if it makes sense in terms of the mechanics of the actual way that reloader worked, but I don't know. That's the way they've implemented it, and that is that's what you're stuck with in the game. Now, it is quite difficult actually to confine yourself to firing that first, just the first round, to get yourself the maximum DPM out of this tank. The temptation to fire the second shot is frequently high, and even if you're not patient as well, like if the opportunity comes up and you fire a shot before the first one's reloaded, then you lose. It cancels the reload. So if you're 0.001 of a second from getting that complete reload and you fire a shot, then you have 2 rounds to load, and you're loading your first round at the time it would take as if you had only 1 round in the clip, which is going to be longer than if you had 2 rounds in the clip. So that kind of calculation in terms of when to fire it and when to make use of the burst damage and things like that. So it's an extra kind of layer of complexity to the whole thing. Now in the PC version of the game, they've actually given this auto reload mechanic to the IS-3A as well, Fatherland IS-3A, which I think actually was historically the kind of reloading mechanic the Russians were trying to put on that tank, except I think they couldn't get it to work reliably. There was an issue, I think, with the reliability of it. But the consensus in the PC is that it's made the IS-3A way overpowered, massively overpowered, because you have 3 burst clip on a pretty decently armoured Tier 8 heavy tank. No one is going to call the Progetto overly armoured or anything like that. It's quite mobile. I like the mobility of it. It's got good soft handling stats as well. Like, it handles well on bad terrain. It accelerates nicely going up hills and things like that, so you don't notice any kind of loss of power or anything like that when you're manoeuvring around. So it manoeuvres very nicely, and it's got, I think, 9 degrees of gun depression, so that is really good. So it's very good on ridgelines, where you're going to make the most of the use out of the slope of that turret armour. So overall, I think this is a really nice tank. Now, it is easy to get a little carried away. The total burst damage is not, I mean, it's whatever it is, 240 shot. So, what was it, 126, 720? It's not enough to kill an A tier tank, as I'm going to prove here, because I get a little carried away here. There's a T10 out there, and actually I'm going to bounce every one of those shots. I don't have the penetration to get through over the tracks on the T10. I should have been aiming those shots. So I get tracked and taken out in the open. But anyway, overall, though, I was still impressed with it, even in this first battle. So I think this is actually the second battle I had in it. We're on Live Oaks, or not Live Oaks, South Coast. Or Baja, is it? No, we're on South Coast. We're on South Coast proper, rather than Baja. It seems to be Baja a lot these days instead of South Coast. Now, my plan is to come down the 0 line, the 9 line as usual, and sort of exploit the terrain there for tanks with good gun depression. And got a lot of company coming down this particular time, so be interesting to see how this works out. We got a rather slow tank there, passing it out, and initially I'm gonna go and see if I can spot people coming up, because there where that medium tank is appearing. A lot of tanks now come straight down that valley there at 8 from J8 down, travelling north. And sometimes you can catch them from here depending on where they go, or if they get, especially if they get up onto the ridge line, but sometimes they need to move forward. Now we have a light tank out in the middle with them. So I'm up here with the light tank almost, and I don't want to go down there, because down there then you're vulnerable to, there'll be enemy tanks almost certainly shooting down into that area as well, and I don't want to get involved in that, and I want to keep my reload. But that's an example there where the top first round had almost loaded and I didn't have the patience to wait, and therefore I'm now into the second round, so I'm actually waiting longer. And I decided that he's worth emptying the clip on, and then there's a lot of tanks in front of me. So I decided I'm pulling back, because I don't really have the armor to fight these guys, and if I can fight them from further back without being seen, I'd be much better off. So I'm pulling back and letting our own heavier tanks take the ridgeline. However, sometimes the enemy don't come up to you, but there's enough of them there that I thought some of them would, and I would get some shots in. So here we have it again, and do I wait for the reload properly? Like, I'm pulling back, I'm fairly... yeah, I get another round in. But I don't wait, I don't quite have the patience, so I actually finished up using the second round again. So I need to be more careful about that. I'm waiting this time, deliberately. I do have a shot, but I don't want to go through that angle. We can pull out a bit more. People are being, but I suppose there's enough of our tanks forward that they're being careful enough. What do we got here? Put around through the T20, was it T25? And we wait for the reload, come back out again. So yeah, we have a fast reload if we do it that way. Nobody down the western side of the map at all. Certainly nobody in our team. But there doesn't seem to be a lot of the enemy down there either. In that we have a lot of the enemy in front of us, and I'm looking at the situation. Okay, there's a light tank after pulling in from the western side. But I thought there's like 6 tanks up at the cap circle. Should be more than enough to deal with him. So I thought, right, I'm going to go down here and see if I can get flanking on these guys, because since there's that tank, okay, there's a heavy tank after appearing up there as well. The light's been dealt with, and there's another heavy in the town. But that's not much, and we have a lot of tanks back at the base. Now, I was going to go around the corner, but I was worried about that light tank. Come around here, and the team has practically finished the enemy off. Very little to be seen, and it's just one of those games where the our guys are running ahead of the enemy. I think I fired there and I didn't. I think I hit a wreck. And now I'm waiting for my reload, and I'm not sure from this angle whether I would be able to put rounds through him or not. So I thought I'd wait for the reload and then maybe move in or something like that. But he's going to be gone before I get there. There's just so much volume of fire, and there's so few enemy tanks left. So we have a motherland appearing here. And if I can not drive through the rock, we come down, we have a full clip here, we should be able to finish off the motherland. So we get one in, we get the second one in. I was just waiting for the angle more than anything else, and I didn't get a chance to fire the third one because we had a lot of tanks with nothing else to be doing except taking out the enemy, and the enemy was just collapsed. It's just one of those games. I'm getting a lot of these kind of games lately, particularly on weekends. I noticed lopsided games are extremely frequently on the weekends, as far as I can tell. So, as far as I can tell, the Progetto is a lot of fun. And as far as I'm concerned, this tank is good fun. It's fast, it's mobile, it's got a decent gun. Which, if I got speed and mobility, and a decent gun, I'm kind of happy with a tank nowadays. Particularly medium tank. Good view range and stuff like that. I mean, I don't have a crew in it, obviously, because it's an Italian crew and it's just starting out. But I don't regret purchasing it. I'm quite happy to have purchased this tank. Whether it's worth it to anybody else really depends on your circumstances and whether or not you're interested in playing the Italian line and various other things like that. It doesn't have any armour that you can rely on. That's about the major drawback with it, as far as I can really see. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a share and a like. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.